Hi, our next lesson deals with standard to slope-intercept. So basically you're going to be converting from a standard form to a slope-intercept form. The objective is how do we change standard form equations into slope-intercept forms equations in order to graph. So from the last lesson we learned about the slope-intercept form, and then using our m slope and the b the y-intercept in order to graph a line. So now there's going to be times where you don't have it in the slope-intercept form. It's going to be in the standard form of an equation, and we have to convert it into slope-intercept form. So it says to graph linear equations, the equation must be in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Now, how to graph an equation from standard form? So the steps are, you have to solve for y to find the slope-intercept form. So you got to realize you need to have that y. Let me go to a pen. You have to have y by itself on the right side, on the left side of the equation. The next thing is you graph the y-intercept. That y-intercept is our b in the equation. That's the y-intercept. That's where we begin. Then starting at the y-intercept, you're going to graph the additional points using the slope. Our slope is our m. It tells us our direction. It's our rate of change. It tells you how far you go up or down, and then left or right. Once you have that, you draw the line by connecting the points, label, and add the arrows. Alright, so I'm going to expand this, and I'm going to do the example that we have here. Alright, so we have graph 5x minus 3y equals 6. There's no way you're going to be able to graph this because you need your m and you need your b. You need your slope and the y-intercept. So we need to have the y by itself. You've already done equations where you had to solve for a certain variable, so you have to get that isolated. So we need to get that y by itself. So I'm going to rewrite it, and we're going to solve for y. That's the first thing we have to do. So that means we're going to take this 5x, since it's positive, we're going to subtract it on both sides. This will cancel out, and this will give us negative 3y equals, since we can't combine these two, we leave it as negative 5x plus 6. We have that negative 3 with the y. Remember, we need to have the y by itself. We're going to divide 3 on both sides. This cancels out. So we're going to have y equals negative 5 over negative 3x, and then positive 6 divided by negative 3 is positive 2. And then if you want to simplify this further, which you should, this will give you negative over negative divided by negative gives you a positive. So then your new number will be 5 over 3x plus 2. And then we have to, the next thing we have to do is determine what is the y, what is our m. So m is our slope, and this is our m. And then the b, our y-intercept, is 2. So remember we got y equals mx plus b. There we go. We have it in that form. Now we can plot the points and find our line. Remember, we start off with b. b is 2, positive 2. It's right here. And then our m is 5 over 3. That is our direction. So we go 5 down first. So 5 up, sorry. 5 up. Let me scroll. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we can't go any further. It would be somewhere around here. So if we were here, 1, 2, 3. So let's say somewhere around here. But if the graph is not big enough, you can't go up, you can't go a certain direction, then you go the opposite. So the opposite of going 5 up and 3 to the right is 5 down and 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. And then we can't go any further, but 2 points is enough. I know we had a third point there, but if it's on the graph, there's 2 points. That's the least amount you need in order to graph a line. So I'm going to put my line. Start here. I'm going to fix that up so that way it's on the points. And then I'm going to draw my arrow. I already have the arrowhead there. I'm going to have the arrow here. And then I'm going to label my line. This is the thing. If you started off with a standard form and you had to change it to a slope-intercept form, but you have to label the line, use the original. Use the original. So then that means you're going to have 5x minus 3y equals 6. So always label the line with the original equation. This is our original. Not the one that you've changed it to. Always use the original. I'm going to repeat that many times in class. Use the original. All right, so I'm going to expand that so that way you can see. Again, when it comes to graphing an equation from standard form, first you have to solve for y, which we did, because we need to get into the slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b, which we did here. Then you graph the y. Find the y, find the m, our b. I'm sorry, find the y intercept, which is our b, which is 2, and then use our slope to give our direction for the next point. Once you do that, connect the dots, draw your line, put the arrowheads, and label with the original equation, which was our standard form in this situation. All right, let's go on to the next one. I'm going to make this graph bigger, so I'm just going to expand this, and then we're going to do our steps. So this is in standard form. We need to do y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to rewrite this so that I can have my y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides of the equation. So that's both on the other side of the equal sign. This will cancel. This will be negative 5y equals negative 3x plus 15. We have to get that negative 5 out of the way by dividing it on both sides. Cancel it. Then it's y equals a negative divided by negative gives you a positive, so it'll be 3 over 5x. And then positive 15 divided by negative 5 gives you a negative 3. And then I'm going to state what my m is. My m, which is my slope, I'm going to write that, is 3 over 5. So that means I'm going to be going 3 up and then 5 to the right. And then my b, which I'm going to use another color, b is where I begin, my y-intercept, is negative 3. Whatever sign is in front of the number, they go together. So don't give me 3 because you're telling me that the y-intercept is positive. No, it's negative. Whatever sign is in front of it is going to determine whether it's on the top or the bottom, positive or negative. All right, so we found our two information that we need in order to graph the line. So b is where we begin, so it's negative 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to use the slope to get my other points. So 3 up, 1, 2, 3, then 5 across to the left, to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't go any further, so I have to go in the opposite direction from where the b is to the opposite of 3 up, 3 and 5 to the right is 3 down, 1, 2, 3, and 5 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to continue that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have enough points, and I'm going to use my line. I'm going to connect the dots, or the points. Make sure I have arrowheads on both sides. I already have one. And then I'm going to put the other one here. And then I'm going to label with the original. So 3x minus 5y equals 15. And there you go. You've got your equation of a line based on you converting from standard to the slope-intercept form. and using the B and the M to find your points and get the line. All right, let's go on to another example. And I'm going to make this graph bigger. So move this and expand it. All right, and now this is in a standard form, so we need to have the y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to rewrite and solve for y. We're not solving for x, we're solving for y. Y equals mx plus b. So negative 3x on both sides. Cancel. Then we have 6y equals negative 3x minus 12. Don't forget about the signs. Don't ignore them. Be careful with signs. And now we need to divide 6 on both sides. So it'll be y equals, and just so you understand what's happening, this 6 can be divided into each term. So if we were to separate it, it would look like this. It would look like that. So then now when you simplify, so negative 3 divided by 6, if you were to reduce that fraction, it would be negative 1 over 2 x, and then negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. And let me move that mark that I made on the graph. Doesn't belong there. All right, so now we're going to find our, put that in blue, and so we have our y equals mx plus b form, so I'm going to just put that there, so that way you know that we've converted from the standard to y equals mx plus b. So our m is negative 1/2. Remember, whatever sign is in front of the number, you got to keep it. And then our b is negative 2. So b is where we begin, which is negative 2. And then this tells us we're going to go 1 down and then 2 to the right. So 1 down, 2 to the right. 1 down, 2 to the right. 1 down, 2 to the right. And then let's go opposite. So 1 up, the opposite of 1 down to the right is 1 up. And then 2 to the left. 1 up, 2 to the left. Those are enough points. You don't need to go crazy and put all the dots, all the points. If you have a good amount to create a line, then you should be fine. You need at least 2 points to create a line. So I'm going to connect the points, and then I'm going to have my arrowhead on both sides. And then the last thing I'm going to do is label the line with the original equation, which was 3x plus 6y equals negative 12. All right, let's go for one more. And I'm going to do the same thing, move the graph and make it bigger. All right. Again, we need to have this y into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to rewrite this so I can work with it. Subtract 5x on both sides. Get negative 2y. And then it's going to be negative 5x minus 4. And then I'm going to divide 2 on both sides so I can have y by itself. So I can get into the y equals mx plus b format. So negative 5 divided by negative 2 gives me 5 over 2x. And then negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. And then we have m. So I'm going to put that y equals mx plus b so you know that we've turned it into the slope-intercept form. Our m is 5 over 2. And our b is positive 2, or 2. And remember, our slope, and the slope is always the number that's next to the x. The b is the number that stands alone. All right, so now we're going to plot. So we've got positive 2, and then we're going to use our direction. So this one says 5 up, and then 2 to the right. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 to the right. Okay, so I can't go any further because the graph is small. So opposite of 5 up and 2 to the right is 5 down, 2 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 to the left. All right, I got my points, and then I'm going to do my line. And I'm going to have the arrow on the other side of the line. And then I'm going to label with the original, which was 5x minus 2y equals negative 4. And there you have it. Graphing an equation of a line from standard, converted from standard to slope-intercept form, and then graphing it by using your slope, m, and your y-intercept, which is b. Right, so, okay, we got to the end. So we're going to do a recap. So basically, when it comes to graphing a line, equation of a line, you have to have it in the slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b. If you have it in standard form, you need to convert it. And the first thing you need to do is solve for y, get y by itself. And then from there, you graph the b. The b, when you have it in y equals the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, b is the number that stands alone. So that way you know, okay, that's the number that I have to begin with. Then you use the slope to tell you how far you go up or down, and then left or right. And m is always, the slope is always attached to the x, to the variable. Once you've plotted your points, connect the points, draw the line, put the arrowheads, and label it with the original equation. If you started off with a standard form of equation, use that to label your line. If you started off with the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, then use that. Whatever equation you started off with is the original, and you use it to label your line. Right, so we did it for the other examples. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I can give you more examples step by step to help you clarify, the issue and help you understand. All right, so this concludes our lesson, and have a good day.